So the purpose of this class is to get you started with some of the fundamentals of goal setting so that if you create a plan that is very succinct, which is what this is designed to do, as long as you follow those rules, you should be okay. No different than installing a DVD player. You follow the instructions, and in the end, the DVD player plays the DVD. Okay? Hopefully you can follow the instructions. Go ahead and click the button here. Okay. I have coached, I'll tell you this now. I've coached with professional coaches for my benefit for the past 9 years. So a lot of this stuff I've taken from what they have taught me. They require that I do goal setting. And actually, my coach requires that I do it in October. So I have basically 3 months to prepare for the next year. This is a little bit late on that type of timeline, but it will still be good. And what he says is that there's 3 components to creating a successful plan. AVG is an abbreviation for affirmations, visualizations, and goals. First things first, affirmations. You've heard these before. Okay? Affirmations are like the Stuart Smalley skit on the old Saturday Night Live where he sits in front of the mirror and says, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me, or whatever it was, right? Affirmations are incredibly important because I guarantee that every single one of you is going to get to a point where you're like, this is not a good day. I can't do this. I screw up all the time. I'm not doing things right. This is going to be a disaster today, this week, this month. I heard somebody mention St. Patrick's Day earlier. St. Patty's Day is coming up. How am I going to do, how are you going to deal with that? Affirmations are a good way to get your head back in the space that it needs to be successful based on the goals that you're setting today. Right? Everybody should have a number on that paper. And if you don't have that number right now, you should have it real soon. You should have a goal, a target weight that you want to be at. This target weight is not going to change from today to 3 months from now. It should be the same target weight. So if you forget this target weight between now and then, you've made a mistake. You haven't looked at your goals enough, right? It's not going to change. So affirmations. I'll give you an example beyond Stuart Smalley. This is one that I've gotten from coaches past, and this is how it starts. Because people are like, well, how do you write a good affirmation? What needs to be in it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's long or if it's short. What does matter is that it's in the present tense. So I am, right? It's not, I will be skinny. I am skinny, okay? Not is not allowed, okay? The universe, it's going to get a little metaphysical here, but the universe does not understand not. It hears whatever's preceding that or following that. So if you say, I'm not fat, the universe hears fat. Your subconscious brain hears fat. Do you follow me? Has everybody seen The Secret? Has anybody put anything into practice from that movie? Like, has anybody made a vision board, or I will grab you a chair, okay?
Well, it wasn't based on the movie. I just do stuff like that.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. But yeah, if you think it manifests itself in the real world. If you're telling the universe that I'm not fat, again, the universe will hear fat, okay? Your subconscious brain, like I mentioned, will hear fat. You want it to be positive. So, I am skinny, not I am not fat, okay? I am fit instead of I am not a lazy bum. Make sense? Okay. Length doesn't matter. It has to make you feel good. It has to take you to a place where you feel successful, empowered, and strong. Okay? If it doesn't do that, it's not a good affirmation. It's not going to work. Because this is for when you're down. And this is for when you wake up. And this is for before you go to bed. Okay? This is to reprogram your head to believe that your world is different. Okay? And the more you believe it, the more it becomes different. If you believe your world is crap, I guarantee it's going to be crap. And you have to try to say it with conviction and believe it. So that's another reason why it's so important that you write down things that actually do matter, that you actually can foresee happening, right? If I get up in the morning and my affirmation is, I will be Brad Pitt, I am Brad Pitt, it's never going to happen. It's absurd and it's ridiculous, and I can't really say that with conviction unless I'm, because it has to be believable to you, okay? In order for it to manifest properly. So here's one from Coach's Past that I say in times of need and oftentimes every morning. Let's see if I can remember how it starts. Okay. Today is a great day, and I have the opportunity to show up as the best me ever. I'm an irresistible magnet with the absolute power to attract into my life everything that I desire. My life is a huge success. Okay, this is the first paragraph. There are many others that I'm not going to recite. But that's the gist of it. Something like that. Something that lifts you up, okay? This is part of the equation. You cannot skip this, okay? You cannot create your own. Do not create your own plan with this stuff. Just follow the rules. It's like people that do Atkins, except they make their own Atkins diet. Well, guess what? Your own Atkins diet doesn't work because it's not Atkins diet. You have to follow the rules. The same is true with this. If you're 2 carbs over on Atkins, you're going to be gaining weight, not losing weight. Right? It's the same is true with all of this stuff that we're going to go over. Just follow the rules. Go ahead and click. Visualizations is the second component of AVG. Right? This is where, like in The Secret, remember the story about the guy who had the vision board where he put pictures of everything that he wanted in his life and what he wanted to see manifest. And he had this picture of this house that he really loved, this big mansion. And then he moves, and he has all this stuff in boxes, and he goes into the house, and years later he opens the box, and he gets out his vision board, and the house that he wanted was the house that he's now living in. Right? Vision boards contain, and it doesn't have to be a vision board. It can be a vision refrigerator. People are visual beings, most of us are, and we like to see stuff. And it leaves an imprint in our head. And if we see how we want to look, if we even see how we don't want to look, this is a huge component to that reprogramming of our heads. If we see the foods that we should be eating, that we know are right for us, it will draw us towards those foods. Okay? If we see pictures of the gym and people looking the way that you want to look in the gym, if we see those regularly, it will inspire us to go to the gym. The closer you can get with images, smells even, right? Feelings, sensation, tactile things. If there's something tactile that you can hold on to that takes you to a place where you can see where you want to be, that's a really good thing. Okay? Sounds. Listening to positive things, listening to inspiring music, all of this stuff creates a pattern in your brain that leads you on the path with greater force towards your goal. Moving into an in-between point here between A, V, and then the G. You need to try to define, the best that you can, what your purpose is. Okay? Who do you want to be? What's your purpose in life? And here's why this is important. Because if your purpose in life is to be a good parent, and you won't be around to be a good parent, this is going to be really helpful. Right? If your goal in life and your purpose in life is to travel around and help the children in India, and you're dead, you can't do that. Right? So what you want to do as a purpose might be really important as well. Or it can be superficial like this, which isn't really superficial because it's important to some people. So it doesn't matter what it is. Again, you want to look like Brad Pitt? That's your goal in life? Good. Perfect. It's a perfect goal. And it's a perfect purpose, too. Okay? So, but you need to know what it is, or try to figure out what it is, because this is not always easy. It can take some time, which is why my coach makes me do it 3 months before the new year, if I have to redo it. But you can still get it done by the end of the weekend if you think about it. you need to remind yourself of this, because people always lose sight of why they're going to the gym for an hour a day and eating broccoli instead of cheese puffs and pizza. Okay? It always happens. Every single year, and I've been doing this for a while, and I've been working with people with weight or just trying to get fit for a really long time. It always happens. People forget why they're doing it. Every single year. And I can guarantee that out of this group of people, unless you take this stuff to heart, 70 to 80% of you will have this happen. Probably in the next 6 weeks. Maybe in the next 4. So, did anybody see that thing on Facebook that I posted about the resolution gym?
2 weeks.
Yeah. So you're going to open this resolution gym for the first 2 weeks of the year, and then after that it's going to be a bar. Right? It's what happens. So, but if you're really in touch with your purpose, that won't happen. It will not happen. One of my purposes is to help people lose weight and get fit and to be around for their kids. Right? And it makes it easy to do this kind of stuff. Define your purpose by the end of the week. You should set a goal to have your purpose by Monday morning. Okay, 2 types of goals. The first type of goal is an outcome-based goal. This is a goal that has a defined endpoint. So when you write down, I want to lose 50 pounds, let's say, you better have a date with that. You can't just say, I want to lose 50 pounds whenever. Because when does whenever ever come?
Yeah.
Never, right? So have a defined, outcome-based goals have a defined endpoint, lose 50 pounds by April 1st, and then, to make it even more awesome, did you get one of these sheets here? Okay, good. So, to make it even more awesome, you chunk it down. So, let's just say I want to lose 40 pounds in 4 months. Okay, so April, May 1st, okay, just to make it easy for math purposes. 40 pounds in 4 months, chunking it down, well, that's 10 pounds a month. And that's 2.5 pounds a week. And that's 0.4 pounds or whatever it is a day. That's chunking. If you chunk things down, how many of you like to have long-term gratification? Like, yeah, I'll save up and in 15 years I will buy that boat. That's pretty fun, right? It sucks. So this, chunking things backwards, allows you to keep your sights on the task of the day, or of the week, or of the month. You're not thinking 40 pounds. Because a lot of people on this challenge lose 80 pounds in 3 months. But if they kept focusing on that 80 pounds, right, or 70, last year it was 70-something was the high number. But if you focus on that, a lot of people will say, I don't know, I'd like to lose 70 pounds, but I don't know if I can. But if you say, I need to lose 0.3 pounds today, that's not that bad. That's like 800 calories. Deficient. You can do that. Right? Or even less than that. So that's what chunking is. You need to chunk down your goal. So whatever it is, you do the math and figure out what it is. Monthly, weekly, daily. Because when we do the bioimpedance analysis, what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to type in a number. Let's say you want to lose 2 pounds a week. We'll be able to type in that number, and based on your body composition, the machine will tell you exactly how much of a particular exercise you need to do to burn the calories that you need to burn each day to lose 2 pounds a week. It will also tell you, if you don't want to exercise, tell you exactly what you can or cannot eat to lose 2 pounds a week. So that if you follow the rules, you can't lose. That, following the rules is the hard part, but still. Okay? So, but it follows that principle of chunking. This equipment does. So you need to know what the chunk down is. Then there's process-based goals, and these are ongoing work-related goals, like going to the gym every day, like eating your veggies every day. more daily lifestyle modification stuff. Does that make sense? But you need to have these as well, because these two things work together. The process-based goals take you to the outcome-based goals. Purpose of the goals: to remind you of why you're doing something, first of all, okay? And you really have to want the goal, obviously. But not so obviously, because a lot of people join this again, or are coaching with me, and they say, well, I want to lose, I think I'd like to lose 40 pounds. Not confident enough. Not wanting it enough. You have to want it, which is why you have to define your purpose. Because if you define your purpose or your mission, right, then it makes it a lot easier. I always tell people at the very beginning of coaching with me that you've got to try to figure out why do you want to lose the weight. I don't care what it is. If it's a thong, or if it's a marathon, or if it, but you got to be serious with yourself. I mean, on so many occasions, people have come, they've told me what their goals are, we talk on the phone, they tell me what their goals are, and then 4 months later, when they haven't lost any weight, okay, they say, well, I'm afraid my spouse is going to leave me. And that's why I'm like, good. I wish you had told me 4 months ago, before you spent all this money on X, Y, and Z, that you just basically threw out because you hadn't been honest with yourself or with me. Because if you don't know, if you've got that reason for doing it, and you know that it's the one, right, it makes it so much easier to achieve the goal. So you've got to want it. You need to recognize what type of goal it is, what we just went over. Set the time frame. Make short and long-term ones, which is part of the chunking. And that's it. You can go ahead and skip. Shortest slide of the night. Clarity wins. You have to be extremely clear with the goals. Again, and with your purpose, right? My coach loves to tell me this. He forgets that he's told me this. But imagine this. Somebody comes in and say, my goal is, I want more money. So you throw them a quarter. There you go. There's more money. You happy now? No. That's not what you meant. Well, then tell me what you meant. Tell yourself what you mean. You've got to be honest, even if it hurts, as to why you want to do this. Okay? Be as specific as possible. Go ahead and click. You need to evaluate your beliefs and see if your beliefs are in line with what it is that you want to achieve. Okay? You need to see, and if you don't have what you think that it takes in terms of beliefs to get to your goal, then you need to try to identify what they are and write them down. Not a single thing that we have discussed so far that asks you to do something should be in your head. It should all be down on paper. Not even in your computer, unless you put it in the computer and then put it on paper. It has to be on paper. If you think that having it in your head is going to work, it is not going to work. Concepts are good, but again, they have to be on paper. So you have to believe that it is worth the effort. You have to believe that you are capable. You have to believe that nothing can stop you. And so when you're setting your goals, you might want to think about some of these things. Because it's a good idea to take your goal to the max and then give it another 5 to 10%. So that you challenge yourself a little bit more than what you think you're capable of, but it's not so far off that you can't do it. And the affirmations and visualizations help with those beliefs. When you tell yourself you're beautiful and wonderful and strong and powerful and diligent every single morning, eventually you trick yourself into believing it. And that's exactly what you want. Resources are the things that you're going to need, some of the things that you're going to need to accomplish your goals. Okay? So skills. If you're lousy with time management is a huge part of losing weight and getting in shape. Huge. Because how many of you have made this excuse? I can't go to the gym tonight, I don't have time. Everybody's done that, right? And there are a slew of other examples. So, time management, organization, planning. How many of you have tried to do a diet that requires planning your meals? And how many of you have skipped the planning of the meals and had the diet work? Zero, because it doesn't work. You have to plan. So those are some resources. Now, if you don't know how to do that stuff, then you need to get help to do it. Because if you can't do that, you're doomed from the very beginning. Or it's going to be more of a struggle to get there. So employing some help is a really good idea. Do you have the confidence, enthusiasm, motivation, and persistence? Those are resources too. Internal resources, but they're resources just the same, and you've got to have at least a couple of them. Okay? And everybody has them. You've all been confident in situations. You've all been enthusiastic. You've all been motivated. You have to keep those fires burning, which is why we have these classes. This is why we suggest that you come and weigh in. This is why we give you things that, or will give you, the bioimpedance and the scales to monitor numbers so that you can be motivated by the numbers if you're a number person. That's why we take pictures and we're going to send them to you so you can see how you looked yesterday and today and the day before. And that is motivating some people. Money, time, and energy. If you don't have the money to join a gym and you don't have the equipment at home and you need to work out but you don't like the cold, what are you going to do? Nothing. What's that?
Walk them all.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, you could walk them all. But if you need money to make this work and you don't have that money, you need to find out how you're going to get it before you start. Otherwise, your odds are not as good. Doesn't mean you'll fail, but your odds are not as good. Time and energy. Well, if you're low energy, why are you low energy? Are you not getting enough sleep? Well, then you have to plan to sleep more. Or you have to try to change your schedule, the way that you work. Or if you can't do that, then you might need to take something. If you're this is all planning stuff, but what happens if you mess up a week? How are you going to recover from that? Do you have a plan for that? Is the plan going to be people? Is it going to be a food? Is it going to be a place or a thing? You need to be ready for those things. It's like St. Patty's Day, right? I don't care if it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, or St. Patty's Day. It doesn't have to be a disaster. You know, people say, well, it's the holidays, I let loose, and it couldn't, whatever. Why? Why? Not everybody does that. I had this great discussion with somebody else. She was like, well, it's the holidays. And some people will sit down at Thanksgiving and eat one slice of turkey and two tablespoons of potatoes, a little bit of gravy and whatever else in small quantities, and it adds up to 12 ounces of food, 16 ounces of food, a whole pound. Other people take 4 pounds of food. Why? It doesn't have to be that way. Okay? So planning for these things, this is my tangent. You can plan ahead and decide that you're going to be responsible on St. Patrick's Day and skip the green beer. Because it isn't going to get you any closer to your goal. And it's really, really easy to do. It may be a tradition, it may be a habit, but you can break it. Okay? A resource would be the planning component for a holiday that you think you're going to lose your stuff on. Okay? Materials that you need to plan this too. So with your weight loss goal, right? And that's what this sheet is for, right? The goal, the target date. Chunk it down. What are the resources I'm going to need? What are the materials I'm going to need? Let's go back to people in just a second. What do you need? Do you need equipment? Do you need memberships? Do you need shoes, grills, bowls, blah, 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 blah. Surgeries are not allowed. And neither is HCG, because somebody asked. It's a hormone that, anyway, it's a hormone therapy that's supposed to make you lose weight. And if you read the research, it doesn't work. It's because of the diet, but it's still not allowed. if you've got to have the equipment, we already went over this. If you've got to have the gym equipment and you don't have it, you got to figure out a way to get it. And if you don't have it written down and you don't know it's going to be a problem, then you're not going to prepare for it. Then you're going to have an excuse. Well, I didn't have the equipment, couldn't do those curls today. Try again tomorrow. Oh, guess what? Tomorrow you're not going to have the equipment either. And then before you know it, 3 months has gone by and you haven't done anything. If it sounds like I'm being a hard ass, it's because I am a hard ass with this stuff, because it happens every year. It's always the same. And people kid themselves over and over again that somehow it's going to be different, and it's not. It's always the same story. So doing this year, writing this stuff down, getting this stuff in line by Monday will put you light years ahead of those people that haven't done it. And it will, if you follow your plan, ensure that you will get some results. And probably the ones that you want if you've done a really good job. People are really, really important. Because if your spouse works at McDonald's and brings chicken nuggets home every night, and that's your dinner, that's going to be a problem. Big one. So, and if you have people in your life that are really positive, that's really important too. So you need to identify by name those people that you are going to need to execute your plan. Trainers, coaches, therapists, doctors, whoever. You need to write them all down by name. You need to also, again, like I mentioned, write down all those people that you need to avoid. Arguably more important for some than the people that are going to be helpful. And I hear this, I mean, everybody's got the friends that you go eat with, you go drink with, you go do this with, you go. If they're a bad influence and they're going to sort of egg you on to do things you know you shouldn't do, you need to either make it very clear to them that you're off limits for the, you know, the pub crawls or whatever, or you're not going to see them for a while. It's as simple as that. And it's good to have a call list or a person that you can call too that will be supportive and helpful in the event that you feel like you're about to do something really stupid. You have to write down your action steps. And by virtue of doing all this, you're kind of doing this. But write down those things that you're going to do to take you closer to your goal. One step in front of the other. Fill out your calendar of action. So I would have a calendar dedicated to your weight loss program, or Get Fit program, whatever you'd like to call it. And fill it up with stuff. Even if it means writing, go to the gym at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, go to the gym at 3 o'clock on Thursday, go to the gym at 3 o'clock on Friday. Write it all in so that you see it all the time. There's this video that I also posted on Facebook, and it's at the end of this, but I don't have good speakers, so I'm not going to play it now. You can find it online. Mel Robbins, TEDx Talk, San Francisco. I talk about this every year, at least since I knew about it. It's an awesome talk. She was an attorney turned motivational speaker lady, and she talks about, if you've heard this before, it maybe didn't sink in enough, so listen to it again. Working swiftly and consistently. One of the things she talks about is the 5-second rule, right? 5-second rule works like this. I need to go to the gym. Just go. Right? I need to eat spinach instead of pizza. Do it. Right? Do not wait more than 5 seconds or you'll talk yourself out of it. You just go. You just do it. I don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. Get the H out of bed. I almost said F. Get out of bed. Just get up and get out of bed. Some of you have heard this story too. Forgive me, but so I went to this conference last May right? This nutrition conference where I learned about this stuff that I'm drinking. I'm not trying to sell you all this, but it is good stuff. It's it's this class on nutrition, and this guy that's teaching the class is in his mid-40s, and the dude is in the best shape of like anybody I've ever seen. I was like, I don't even want to be here having a look at this guy because I feel like a slob. Seriously, I mean, I was like, I'm going home on Sunday, and on Monday, I am going to get a gym membership. I had a gym membership, but I was never using it. I'm going to get a new one with showers that are private so that I'll actually go to the gym and take a shower and go back to work, because that was what was preventing me from going to the gym. Anyhow, so I do that. I do just that. I go over to Anytime Fitness. I get my membership. I don't even tour. I don't even care about anything. Private showers, looks clean, done. Right? And I start going at lunchtime at 1 o'clock, 3 to 5 days a week. Right? Do that for a while. August rolls around. This friend of mine from Cincinnati comes into town to stay with us, visits, and he has to leave Monday morning, and his flight's at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I know I can wake up because I have to get him to the airport. I mean, if I had to wake up to do something on my own, like put fire in the stove, I wouldn't do it. But to get him to the airport, I'll do it. Take him to the airport. I'm like, it's 4:15, and I'm not driving home. So I guess I'll just go to the gym. So I go to the gym, and it works out great. And I leave, and I come here, and it's 6 o'clock, and I have 2 hours before anybody comes into the office. This is great. And I don't have to go at lunch, so I've just basically freed up. I have 2 hours in the morning by myself and 2 hours at lunch that I don't have to go to the gym. Like, this is kind of cool, right? But I'm like, but Lou, when you were in college, this is true. When I was in college, I scheduled all my classes after 1 o'clock, and I put cardboard on my windows so I could sleep until noon. I'm not kidding, right? A total night person. I'd stay up all night and sleep all day if I could. Like, I don't know if this is going to work out, but the next day, set my alarm for 4:30. I was like, I'll try it again. Got up. 5-second rule. Heard the alarm, get out of bed. I did it. Did it the next day. I was like, this is okay. It's working out. Do it again. Now, I don't even think about it. I don't even have to set the alarm. I wake up at 4:25 on my own. Right? I programmed myself to love it. Right? And it started off with this 5-second rule that Mel Robbins talks about. The second thing is activation energy. It's that activation energy, the energy that it takes for me to get out of bed when I would rather have my eyes poked out, at least at the beginning, right, when I was doing this. That energy that it takes to get out of bed that's so painful, that's the energy that you need to be successful with this kind of thing. You need to learn how to just go. To tell your body, I only have a couple more of these, but this is on Facebook somewhere too, right? This George Patton quote. It says, now if you're going to win any battle, you have to do one thing. You have to make the mind run the body. Never let the body tell the mind what to do. The body will always give up. It's always tired in the morning, noon, and night, but the body is never tired if the mind is not tired. Right? This is activation energy. This is your brain saying, do it, whether it's painful or not. And if you learn how to do things when they're painful, nothing at all can stop you. Again, a lot of this challenge, I mean, I don't give people exercise plans. I don't give you diets. I don't care what you do. If you need help, let me know. This is not about that. This is about keeping your head in the game, because that is the problem. People don't have a hard time finding diets. They have a problem sticking with them. Okay? The classes are designed to keep you in the game, to keep you informed, to keep you doing something that's positive. Because all of you could be at home right now preparing lasagna, but you're not. Hopefully nobody else is either. We put them on that people list, right? But you're here doing something good, and if you leave here and you go home and you have a salad, you've done a really good thing for the day. And you've stayed in the game and you've done stuff that is motivating to you. You don't really need to follow me on Twitter, because everything that's on Twitter is on all these other things too, but you can if you want. But Twitter, Facebook is the big one though. like I've said at the weigh-in to most of you, Facebook is where I really stay in touch with people and post lots of stuff. So oftentimes hilarious stuff. Did anybody see that one about broccoli? This friend posted this thing on Facebook the other day, and it says, you'll see it because I'll post it up, but you're going to want to share this. It's like, sure, broccoli, it's got a picture of broccoli. Sure, broccoli gets stuck in your teeth, but French fries get stuck on your ass. Sign up, go to my website, drloujacobs.com, and sign up for the newsletter. I don't always post everything in the newsletter on Facebook, although I do post some stuff up there. But there's a lot of valuable stuff on there, sometimes indirectly related to weight loss, but very pertinent and applicable to the quest. Okay? You've got us here if you, as an office, if you need anything, we are here for you. And I also do private coaching with people as well. Just like I coach with my coach Paul and have for ages now. It's oftentimes what people need to stay engaged. And I'll give you an example. I have one guy who coached with me for a few months, and he lost like 22 pounds, and he's got some pretty big goals. And he's like, I've got to save for my wedding, and I really can't afford to do this anymore, which I know is not true because I watch him. Be careful if you're friends with me on Facebook, because I watch what you do. And I'm not kidding. This guy is out partying all the time, right? So I know at $5 a drink, he's got the money to pay his coach. But anyway, and so he's like, I can do this by myself anyway. I can do it by myself anyway. I've done it before, and he's gained all the way back after a month and a half. That was the holidays. Well, didn't I teach you to plan for those types of situations? Yep. But he didn't do it. He doesn't do it. It's not easy to do. Sometimes people need help. So coaching can be really, really, really valuable from an accountability standpoint. And it's worth its weight in gold, which is why I continue to do it.